I'm smiling.
Yes. All right. Oh my goodness, we are live, finally on, ready to rock this. Rock this, right?
Yes. You know
Let's
what?
go.
We may be a little late, but we're still doing it and doing it with a smile, you guys. And
Woo.
that's kind of, it fits into the theme of this
Yes.
series.
Yes.
Just of when
Perfectly.
things don't go like you thought,
Oh,
still just moving forward. And that's what it's about. And we're so amped to be here with you guys
yes.
today.
Yes.
Because what is today, babe?
Today is a day to take action and change your life forever, right? Forever.
Heck yeah.
Not another day. Let it go, don't let another day go by. Don't go next year, 2 years. It's time to take action today. Let's go.
Totally.
Let's go.
And now, before we get started, I have a little joke for y'all. Mike hasn't even heard this, so we'll see if it flops. If it flops, it flops. This is just the way it goes. Okay, so it takes skill to trip over flat surfaces. Yeah, that takes skill. You know, you're cruising down a flat street. There's no rocks. There's no edges. There's no curbs. And you still trip. That takes some skill.
That's true.
And if you fall flat, here's what to do. If someone is around and they ask, "Are you okay? That looked like a nasty fall." This is what you say. You say, "I didn't fall down. I attacked the floor."
Nice.
I tried on that one. I tried. It didn't.
It's all good. See, we
Clearly,
aren't.
I need to run the jokes by him because
Yeah.
he just looked at me with a blank.
Now, we're not professional comedians. Just be aware. You know, you might think we've been in the comedy business for a long time, but just letting you know,
Heck
giving
no.
you a heads up.
Heck no.
And thank you guys for joining us. Brenton, awesome you're here. Valentine,
Woo!
what's happening? Thanks for that.
I'm glad you like the hats.
That is the reason we are here live preparing for the new year. Today, though, today. And that's why we call this series Arise.
Yes.
Arise,
And
right?
that's-
It's time to arise.
Absolutely. And that's today's topic. It's about getting back
Yes.
up. Getting
right.
back up.
That's right. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
Right?
And I feel something down here by my
What?
feet. What is that?
Nice.
Oh my gosh, she's been back there for so long
Wow,
waiting
wow.
to do that. Thanks, babe.
She
Love
loves
you.
she loves her surprises.
That was loud.
That's very loud in your ear. I'm sure you heard that. There's no
I know
doubt.
the mic's right here. Sorry if that kind of blasted you out. But
Wow,
anyways,
wow.
so today is about getting back up.
Right.
And
Right.
we
Let's go.
really felt the need as we were closing out the year. We were like, okay, for this last series, God, what do you want us to do? What
Right.
do you want us to do? And we
Totally.
really felt like He put on our hearts to just encourage any of you guys
Yes.
who are feeling like you're coming to the end of the year. You had set your goals high, your expectations high, and
Right.
maybe you didn't come as close or hit those targets or those expectations, and maybe you are falling into a little bit or tempted to get into a little bit of discouragement or frustration. And we just really felt like we wanted to encourage those of you guys who came close and maybe didn't hit it, that it's okay.
It's all right. Tell yourself that too. It's okay. It's all right. You don't have to be the machine because we're not machines, right? People like that compliment. Dude, you are a machine. You are a go-getter. You are Those are great to hear. Like, man, I appreciate that. But in all honesty, we all have those moments where we feel like, man, I could have done more. I could have done that. You know, I never got to my X on my goals. I never reached the point of where I wanted to be this year, but that is okay.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
No, it totally is. Especially if you've been working, you haven't
Yes.
just sitting back,
Right.
chilling the whole year, but you've been working,
Yes.
you've been growing, and you've been taking those steps. And I think that so many of us who are really, and all of you Mavericks are like this, where you want to grow.
Yes.
You want to grow. And so it's real easy to be, if we came this close to hitting our goals, that's the part that we focus on instead of all this stuff that you got done, that you
list.
knocked out, that you grew in, that you accomplished.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
we want to encourage you
Right.
to not get stuck on this
Right.
much when you've accomplished this
Truly,
much. So
truly. And that would be an encouragement to you to be able to sit down and, like, we talk about building lists. We're going to get into some stuff soon here
Yeah.
and give you a heads up for next year, how to prioritize, how to get those things dialed in. But even now, you could sit down today, write down a list of things that you've accomplished,
you're
right?
jumping
A
ahead,
reminder.
man, to the action step.
Sorry.
You're just
Sorry,
gonna,
I'm taking
he's
you
like,
way.
we were running late, so we're just gonna wrap it up right now.
Let's just wrap. We were late. Let's just wrap. No, but hey, for real, we really want to encourage you not to take things so heavy, right, when you haven't accomplished those goals that you might have had from the beginning of the year, your New Year's resolutions. Just know there is more in store when you
Yes.
can, like, let's get into this next step. Let's get into what Sophia has obviously put in some time preparing for us, and get real. Like, get real with yourself
Yeah.
for a moment. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah,
Be honest.
And we just really want to encourage you. Some of you might have been like, okay, I didn't come this far, or
Right.
I wasn't this close. I was actually like, it feels like
Far.
I'm miles away from where I want to be. That's okay.
It
We don't fail
No.
unless we stay down.
Right.
That's when we fail.
It's
But if
true.
we'll get back up, we'll take those steps, keep moving forward. That then when you feel like you're miles away, that's just part of your journey.
Yes.
If you keep taking those steps, you're going to get closer. You're going to get closer. You're
Truly.
going to get closer.
Truly.
And so,
Man.
yes.
And I just want to say, what's up to Caesar? What's happening?
Woo!
Glad
Hey,
you're on with us.
Caesar.
Right on. And we got Simon, right? Catherine,
I love it.
Pedro.
Love it, love it, love it. You guys are
So
awesome.
funny.
You guys rock.
Good to see you, bro.
And so we have a little example, example. And we're going to be honest.
It's for real.
It's for reals. And so
We did say we're going to be honest with you, right? We're going to tell
on.
you like it is. We're not hiding anything, right?
No.
We're going to be blatantly honest about this.
Yes. So let's say that you've been working on a business deal
Oh, yeah.
for what seems like months,
Right.
and it just feels like it's not coming together. It's just not meeting of the minds.
Right.
Negotiations are just getting, or whatever it is that's kind of hindering it. And it's like, oh man, but if we can get this in by the end of the year, then I hit that goal, that revenue goal that we had.
Right.
And it's awesome, but it just doesn't look like it's going to come in. And here's the thing, when that happens and you're like, you had those expectations, you had that target, those revenue goals set, and you've been doing so well and you've been growing and doing all of these things, but then it comes to the end of the year and it looks like maybe it might not pan out.
Come through.
And it's so easy in those moments when especially if it's a big deal.
Right.
And you're putting in work, you're putting in time, you're putting in effort to get this to come together.
Yes.
And it just doesn't seem like it's going to come together. And then what's easy to have happen then?
Ooh. Well, here's the truth. I mean, we're probably preaching to the choir because you've been through that. We're going through that, right? That's literally
This is
what
our example.
happened.
We're like, we'll use we'll be vulnerable.
Right?
We'll
for
use
real.
our example.
Truly. And this is exactly what happened yesterday morning when all this culmination of like the news came through last week, and it's just like, bummer. And it was.
And it wasn't
like,
just bummer. Let's be
like
honest.
deep.
You took it.
He
took it hard.
Really, yeah, to be honest with you, I was really upset. And a little angry, a little like, what? Like, come on. Are you kidding me right now? Like, this has been in the works for a long time. It's not just like yesterday, right? It happened yesterday, and then the day after is today, and it just was like, oh, okay, it didn't work out. That's different. You can kind of, and expectations were built up, and all these other details that really were like, oh, wow. So it's just not going to happen.
And the funny thing is it's not like this deal isn't going to happen. It's
Right?
just not
That
going to
was my
happen by
mind.
the end of the year.
Yes.
I mean, possibly, we don't know, but
that was my mind.
but his
right?
expectations
Mindset.
were set that it was going to happen by a certain time.
Yes.
And sometimes this happened to me too. And thank you for being vulnerable, babe, and sharing your...
Right. If I was really honest with you, I probably would have told you some like cuss words going through my mind. To be honest with you, I'm just be honest, right?
Yeah, he
I'll be
didn't
real.
say any, but
I was
yeah.
angry to the point of like, are you kidding me? This is like, oh, it's on now. Dude, I'm feel so done. I'm like, oh, like
I've
it was just
never
crazy.
seen. I came down in the morning. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I was like, whoa.
That's reality
But
for
here's the awesome thing: when you have someone in your life, whether it be, and I'm not trying to build myself up. I'm just because he's done this for me so many times. When you have someone in your life who can like, when they hear you saying this kind of stuff, it's just like it's so easy when it's not you to when like it's easy when he was saying this discouragement, frustrating stuff.
Yeah.
Mike, that's just junk. It's just lies. Like, don't listen to it. But when you're in it,
No, totally.
it's hard to like see past your own missed expectations. And so when you have someone in your life who can just be like,
True.
listen, I love you. That's not the truth. You are successful. You've had a phenomenal year. Like, don't let this get you down. And just sit there when we sat and we prayed.
Yeah.
And we had an awesome time. And that's what we want to be for you today. For anyone who's in that moment
Yes.
of unmet expectations for
Right.
this year and you're feeling down, we want to be those people who are coming alongside
That's
you
right.
and being like, it's all right. Don't believe the lies. You are
Right.
successful. You've had a phenomenal year. You've grown in a bunch of different areas. Don't let this one thing or this couple things or whatever it might be stand in the way of you continuing to grow and to continue to step forward.
Big time,
right?
big time. And Demon, I know it's you, you're Pedro, aka, right? It's too funny. Brendan, dude, and we understand. You know, we're not the only ones. We knew that.
Yeah.
We knew it. We know we're not. But deep down, it's like at that moment, you do kind of just close in and just be like, "Gosh, man, it's just why am I going through this? Why is this happening to me?" And then you take it personal, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I know I'm not the only one. It'll be like that voice, the enemy, whatever negativity just starts kicking in to the X degree, like times 10, like 10x. You're hoping to go 10x in your business. You're hoping to go 10x your brand, 10x your marketing, 10x your like the number of increase of flow of like cash flow coming in and all that stuff. And then boom, what happens when you start going negative? It's 10x the other way because the enemy, all these other things, negative thoughts, and you're just like, for real, I did all that and it's going to go to nothing. And then boom, even more seeds gets dropped in.
Oh.
And you're like, what the, I can't believe, and this is really, and you close in, you shut everybody out, you get frustrated, tears running down, literally yesterday morning, like really, like that mad. And like, what changes was, boom.
Yeah.
Someone who can speak to you truth, what really is really happening, and be like, pull you out of that, like, whoop, let's get you out of that zone, like, because that is not reality. That's not true, right? It's just this one thing, or two things, or something that's affecting you negatively, but that is not the reality of the big picture. What's happening in your world, what's happening with people around you, what's happening with your family, what's happening to your friends, right? Reality is, yes, there's moments, and that's what we need to see.
Yeah.
It's just a moment.
Yeah.
That you are going through, and boom, how do we take through? How do we step?
I think
through that?
The key, what I saw you do, which was so powerful, it was. I mean, I've never seen him so it was like
Ouch.
the floodgates of just negative were just flowing through him, and I think the big shift it's almost like what I did is, I'll just be honest, I started praying for him. I was like, Lord, like, stop, like, these lies of what's going on, and may you see the truth.
Much needed.
And so that's what we did. We prayed, and there was a big shift, and I was able to then speak truth into him and be like, what are you talking about? You're super successful. You've grown a bunch. You're doing awesome.
Right.
We're doing great. Like, we've hit awesome numbers. Like, just because we didn't hit this number, it doesn't matter. Like, you're doing awesome. And so that was a big shift, like, to see, and that's why we're like, focus on so many of us that are wired, like, we want to grow, we want to get to the next level, we want to do these things, and if we don't, we focus on that little bit we didn't instead of all of the other wins. And so getting that shift, that's why Mike was, and we'll get to that action step.
We will.
But seeing the things that you have done well, and the ways that God has blessed you, the way God has moved in your life this year, the way just you've been blessed with your family, and just all of the things like shifting from that negative focus and unmet expectations to that thankfulness and gratitude, don't you think?
So good, because she looked at me in the eyes, right? She saw me if she was hurt, I was hurting, and she also recognized that's the thing, that you have a friend, you have someone close to you, you have a partner, you have a buddy, a brother, or even your wife, which I'm hoping that would be always, like, as a man, you're gonna have that boom, look at you in the eye, maybe in a little chair along with you, and be like, look, I don't want you suffering. I don't want you going through that, and that is not the reality. That is not the truth. The truth is, here's the truth. And she started saying, boom, 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 boom. That's what's happening. And that made me kind of go, oh, check. Yes. You know what? Actually, that is truth. I'm relying on all these negative lies, things that are not true. It's not the end of the world. I made it, boom, explode inside my brain and my heart, and I'm just like, wow. That brought me out of it almost instantly, where boom, with prayer, pow, I was like, yes, you know what, done. I'm done with that. I don't even know why I'm dwelling it on so much. I was sitting there just wallowing, you know what I mean? And that just doesn't help. That's like a pig in the mud saying, okay, we're gonna wash you off, we're gonna clean you up, boom, you look nice, put a ribbon on you, and that pig, as soon as you let him go, right back into the mud. You're like, I just made you nice, right? Things are good. Things are awesome. You're ready to go, like, walk down the street like my puppy and cruise, like, show you off. And it was like, that's what I was doing. I'm in the mud. Sophia goes and pulls me out. I'm not going back there. That's the thing. I am not going back into the mud and seeing where I was at, recognize where I'm at, and go, boom. You know what? No. God's got me in way better places. Thankfully, Sophia sat me down and said, look, not it. That's not it. Come back out of that stuff. Let's clean you off, get you work, and ready to rumble, ready to go back to where you should be. Your mindset and heart, let's get you back to where you should be. So,
and that's what we want, again, for you guys, any of you that are facing something similar to what Mike was facing yesterday.
That's good.
Just to encourage you to speak truth, to speak that we just want to take this time to speak over you. We have some stuff, like Mike mentioned. Next Monday we're going to be talking about getting set up for next year, some awesome stuff. We're going to have this awesome PDF download, but today we really felt like we needed to take the time to speak truth over your life, over your business, over your brand, and just to tell you that you have a purpose. You are successful. You've plowed this year. Maybe this was your year of really kind of clearing out the land.
Totally.
You know, when you take over, you buy some land, you got to clear out all the rocks. You got to, take out the trees. If you're going to plant, a harvest, it's a lot of work before you see that harvest. And so maybe this year was really kind of, that was your year. You were taking out those rocks. You were pulling all those weeds, pulling out the stumps of the trees, and doing that. And you're like, man, I felt like I put in so much work and so much stuff, and I'm not really seeing stuff. We want to just encourage you, keep going. You're just, all that you've done is just prepared that land. And now it's going to be time in 2020 to see that the fruits of your labor. So to continue, because what happens, imagine if you were a farmer and you'd done all that work to clear the land and then you just gave up. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm not seeing it in my crops. Like, I'm just going to give up. Is he going to see crops next year? No. What does he got to do?
Wait and give it time.
Well, he's got to do, like, plant those seeds, keep going, keep stepping forward, right?
That's right.
Or he's not going to see that corn and the wheat and all the veggies and all of that awesome harvest.
And know what the truth is. Because if you're sitting there thinking that's going to happen instantly, it's not. That's just not a way the farmer works, right? But most farmers have a mindset of, okay, well, I'm going to go plant. I'm going to put this type of fruit, this type of veggie, whatever they're going to grow. And they study put in some time and effort into finding out what time of season is this good to plant in? What is it that's going to take the typical time to see the turnaround for this to be all of a sudden sprout up so then I can pull from the harvest, right? Take that and use that, reuse, new seed, new planting. Right? How does that look to cultivate? That was a big one. And that's kind of what came to me yesterday, just to be honest with you. Like, wow, we have cultivated, we planted a lot of seed. But in all honesty, I was going so negative from that one thing.
Just one. I'm like, dude, you've hit awesome revenue goals. I was like, He was just
Come on.
like, once you go down, you all know, I've done it.
Oh, snap.
Once you start down that like negative
Right.
spiral, it's like, I'm a total failure and life is awful. And it's like, dude, no, you're not a total failure.
No,
like, you've done this and this and
no.
this and this and this.
Man.
Like, see that.
It's just not reality.
Yeah.
Not reality. Lydia, Damon, what's up? Niklas. Hey, son. Era from Sverige. He's from Sweden. Here on live with us. Jim, very cool to see you, Jim Shaver, right? And James, cool. Very cool.
I love it. And I love what Valentine says. I receive it in the name of the Lord. I hope that you were receiving what we were speaking, the success, the victory over your life.
Right. Because we heard yesterday,
oh my gosh, I know, that's part of...
We're talking about that, right? Were you going to talk about the one thing where the pain?
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm going to throw this in there real quickly because that came to me. We were just
that would have been a better joke than my joke.
It's all good. It's all
Were
good.
you stealing it from the guy at church who spoke yesterday, which was phenomenal?
Yes. So
tell
the guy goes to the doctor.
Yeah, tell him.
Right? Guy goes to the doctor. He steps in the doctor's office. He's like, Doc, man, I have been in pain all week long. He's like, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what part of my body I touch, it's like painful to the point of excruciating pain. I can't handle it, Doc. What's going on with me? And the doctor's like, looks him over, checks him out. He's like, do me a favor. Touch your chin. Does that hurt? And he's like, it's so painful. You don't even understand, Doc. I am in pain. He's like, wow. Okay, how about this? Touch your elbow. And he's like, just freaking out in pain. He's like, dude. And so the doc says, do me a favor. Touch your hair. Like, touch my hair. And he's like, He's like, idiot, you have a broken finger. It's like one thing, right? That one thing that irritates you. And it's irritating your whole being because you're letting that one thing get in the way and be like, owie. Just take care of that one thing, you'll be all right.
Totally. That was better than
so
that.
Crazy.
Good job, babe.
Anyway, but
Good
that
job.
was the biggest part, a takeaway to remember. It's usually just one thing. One thing irritating you, getting you frustrated, and just go take care of that one thing, and usually everything else will be just fine.
Totally. And I love the story that he told about. So yesterday, the speaker, and it was so applicable to what Mike had faced in the morning before church, and it was the story of Lazarus. If you're not familiar with the story of Lazarus, you're in for a treat. It's a great story.
It's crazy.
It's about this dude who got really sick.
Yep.
And his sisters went to tell Jesus about him being sick, and Jesus was like, "Don't worry, this isn't going to end in death. You're all good." Yeah, so they went back, thinking everything was going to be just fine. I mean, Jesus, dude, if Jesus tells you it's all good, like, don't worry.
You're good.
Like, you're good, right? And then, what happens? Lazarus gets sicker. The dude dies, and Jesus never shows up. Right. Nothing. He didn't get healed. He died. Like, what did Jesus tell his sisters? He was like, don't worry, he's not going to die. It's going to be all good. The dude died. Like, and then didn't show up for, like, 4 days. Right. 4 days. Could you imagine the unmet expectations of Lazarus' sisters? Right. Like, dude, Jesus, you told us he was going to be fine. It wasn't going to end in death. Like, what the heck? He's dead. He's in the tomb. Like, he's stinking. Like, this is not cool. Right. And then Jesus comes and the speaker did it way better than what I'm going to do. But he rolled in. Jesus comes in and goes to the tomb. Could you imagine if the sisters were, like, so upset that they were like, Jesus, just go away. Go away. We don't want to see you. We're so offended. You promised us, and now look, our brother is dead. Right. They didn't do that. And so, but Jesus shows up at the tomb. And what does he do? He tells that dude Lazarus to get up. Get up. And what happens? He walks out of the tomb. Get out. He's alive, healthy, living. Yes. But imagine if the sisters had let their unmet expectations and their frustrations and everything, just as soon as they saw Jesus, they're like, buddy, you're barred from here. I don't want you to come around here. Yep. You promised us. You didn't come through. And then they would have missed this amazing miracle. Yes. And they would have missed seeing their brother raised from the dead, totally healthy. And
True.
so even if
True.
you're in that point where you feel like your business is dead, a deal is dead,
No.
whatever it is, like
No.
stick in there, hang in there, get back up. It is not the end, even if it seems like it's totally dead. Like that could be the moment
Oh,
where you
snap.
get that like revelation and that understanding of, hey, something is really going to awesome is going to happen here, and God
Right.
has not left me. I'm not alone. He is going to do something miraculous even out of this.
Right.
And then he might just be setting you up for some awesome miracle shift, right?
True. It's true. Exactly what happened. I mean, I put this in like that same scenario, what happened yesterday, because I was getting angry at everything, getting angry at just mad, and it's like people around me, I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. They don't even understand me, what I'm going through. It's all up here, right? And just going angry at God, angry at, and all it does is boom, it hurts me. It's like that scenario of you wanting to get back at someone for doing something to you, and it's like you drinking the poison expecting that person to die. Right? And all it's gonna do is wreck you, and that's what was going on. I'm like, oh. And then in actuality, God's like, why are you freaking out? Like, things are just fine. Even without this person to make a commitment, it doesn't matter. Like, ultimately, your year is going to end up flourishing still, no matter what. Because I've got all this other stuff, and that's happening right now as we speak, which is crazy.
Yeah, there's awesome.
But I
Like
get
I'm
locked
like,
on that
honey,
one thing.
did you forget about this and this and this and this that God's doing, and these awesome clients and this huge project? Like I'm like,
I did.
don't forget about those things, and that's why we want to encourage you today to not
Yes.
forget about those
Don't forget.
awesome things that God has done in your life this year, and yeah, hold on to those things.
That's
Hold
right.
on to those promises, even
Yes.
when it looks like it's dead in the tomb, stinking, disgusting.
Nasty.
Like, if he's given you a promise,
Growing mold.
he's going to fulfill it. And so, oh my gosh, growing mold, growing fungus
Like
on your
4 days in.
on
you
your
gotta-
toes.
Gotta be stinky,
Oh my gosh.
nasty.
Oh my
I mean, that's
gosh.
the thing too. We can think about that. Our goals that have gone on years and you never accomplished them, and they're still sitting there, and you're like, dude, I wish I could have. I should have. I wish I could have. I could have, should have. And all that goes shoulda, coulda never happens, right? But the day you say, like we say every time, we take this moment to arise,
Yep. Get back
get
up.
up, get back on it, dedicate some time, put in that work, and definitely prioritize, right? So that you can take the moments, what we've talked about way back in the series. We actually did a branding series that had to do with building your brand, even if you're doing something like now currently working another job, other things, but you take the moment, and then if it's 45 minutes, right? 45 minutes or whatever,
Or
20
even
minutes
if it's 20
sometimes.
minutes a day and you're just doing
20
those
minutes.
little increments.
Boom, build.
They add
build.
up. And don't get
Yes.
discouraged, because some people, they'll begin building, especially that we see the ones getting discouraged, the ones that
Right.
like do more than, like they're doing like 4 hours a day, 8
Yeah.
hours a day of building, and
That's
they
crazy
go a
good.
little overboard, and then they get
Right.
burnt out. And that's why we say
Yes.
slow and steady wins the race. If you
That's
can
right.
just put in an hour, half an hour to the building and that growing aspect of
Right.
your business, of your brand, then you're going to be able to sustain that for the
Yes.
long haul. And
Oh,
now
yeah.
we're kind of getting,
To the max.
yeah.
Right? We're about almost at 30 minutes. We want to make sure to get you guys the info. Right
Yes,
into
action
some action
steps.
steps. Take some action. Here's the action steps for today.
And we've kind of hit and given you hints and dropped stuff on what it was.
Yeah.
And remember, what we really want you guys to do is not maybe focus on where you haven't
Right.
hit your target, that where you've come short. We want you guys to take some stock. Take 5 minutes
Yes.
and really look and reflect over the year and be like, okay, am I holding on to these
Right.
unmet expectations, or have I released them? So if you're
Right.
holding on to them, we want you just to like acknowledge that and be like, you know what, I'm going to let those go. And I'm going to celebrate all the successes that I've had this year. And we want you to take a couple minutes to write down your successes, your victories from
Yes.
2019.
That's
Like,
right.
what are those?
That's right. Close up this year, not trying to look so far ahead to 10 years from now. Man, the best advice I ever said was, or
You
heard
ever said
was,
Can I quote you on that?
Yes,
The best
the best
advice
advice
I
I
ever said.
me. No, it's the best advice I've ever heard, right, was from someone else saying to me, like, or even yesterday, great, we listened to a message, listened to a speaker again, having to do with that whole mindset of when someone asks you and expects you to know the answer, especially from a perspective of, hey, you're the expert, tell me, what do I do in this situation, right? And sometimes someone has these unexpected, like these expectations that you're just going to answer every dang question. And sometimes you just need to say, I don't know. His favorite emoji is, so you literally put that down in like the 10-year mark. You don't really know. I mean, you can write these things down, and it's good to have goals. It's good to have 10-year goal, your 5-year goal, 1-year plan.
We're all about,
those
don't
things.
get us
We
wrong,
are
we're
about
that. But there's
For
also
sure.
going to be like things that are going to happen that you don't know what's going to happen. Like
don't know.
you don't know. You're not going to. We aren't all powerful and all controlling beings. So give yourself some grace. There's going to be some
Yes.
things that are outside of your control.
Right.
And
Right. That's the
but,
key.
Yeah, but really
Giving yourself
yeah.
a break. Giving yourself a break to be like, I don't know, but I am going to continue on
Yes.
and
Yes.
arise, not get stuck in the muck, in the wallowing in your stewing in your muck, like that nastiness that can really just suck you down, like Sophia mentioned yesterday. It could be like that quicksand that you just gradually just sink a little bit, sink a little bit. Next you know, you're deep, and you're like, how am I going to get out of this right now?
Yeah.
Right? Don't go there.
No.
Don't go there. Stay on the bank. Focus on what you're supposed to do. Arise up, get up, keep walking, keep getting after it, right? Going after those goals is awesome. And if you haven't set yourself in order to get those goals, great. But first, we want you to take time, look at those things that you've accomplished, list those things. If you've even in 1 year, typically 1 year, if you've accomplished 5 solid goals, right? That's a win. That's a huge win. Like,
Absolutely.
and it could be just small things that you wrote down that I want to be, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to, like, we've written stuff down for the New Year's Eve, or at New Year's, before New Year's, and they're like, this is what I want to do for my next year. You know, I want to achieve this and achieve that. Well, out of the 50 things we wrote down, maybe we only hit 5. They're awesome. And even that was you can be proud of yourself for it, right? Even if it's
I think you've
one
hit more
big
than
thing,
5, but I get your
right.
point.
But I want to say even one thing. That was one of your goals. I want to lose weight. You lost some weight. Bam! That should be something you can be proud of. Put on that list. What's the other thing? Well, as a parent, for example, with my daughter Alexandra, dude, there was things that I never thought were going to happen. I wanted to teach her how to start surfing, right? So this summer, boom. First time ever. She got up on the board, stood up without a problem, because we've worked through the years before to kind of prepare her. Be ready for water. Take some time to understand the principles. All those things. And then boom, she did it. I was so excited for her. I'm like shouting from the ocean as I push her in. And she's just like, yeah, like everybody was excited, right? That is a win. Boom, write it down.
Yeah, think
right?
about also, it's so important. I think as entrepreneurs, it can be real easy to be so business
Right,
focused.
focus on the business, right?
But to also see the wins in your life.
Yes.
The wins in your marriage, the wins with your kids,
That was awesome.
the wins, with your friends and your community, and seeing those things as a whole. And so it just makes, it's like, oh, thank you. And it's an easy way to shift your mind from the funk to that thankful and that heart of gratitude, which is really that awesome, healthy place to be in, and that healthy place to grow in.
Yes.
So
great reminder.
Yeah.
Thank you, love, for that.
Yeah.
Because it's true. I mean, all the list of things, if we really wanted to, we probably could build up this fat list of stuff that has been accomplished this year with our family. Like she said, our marriage.
Yeah.
Woo, incredible things have happened. Our relationship, us being able to connect and make connections and new friends. I mean, there's been blessings in our family, relatives, like good stuff. I mean, we could just continue to list out stuff. And that's what we want you to do. Take a moment.
And that is the action step.
How much time? What do we
At
put
least
down?
even just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. That's
Cool.
Dude, come on. We're on like we're scrolling for more than 5 minutes a day. We can skip a scroll.
That's easy.
And write out some stuff.
Right.
And about your wins for this year.
Yes.
We would love to hear your wins.
Yes,
if you want to
please,
share those
please.
here,
Man, yes.
feel free so we can celebrate with you on your wins and your victories. And just know that we believe in you.
Yes.
We believe in you. We believe that God has a purpose for you.
That's right.
That He loves you. That you were made with just some awesomeness in mind.
Yes.
So keep going forward with that, because it's only when we stay down that we truly fail. So get back up. Keep going forward.
Right.
And
Yep.
we believe in you.
That's
keep
right.
going forward.
We do. Keep after it. That was a huge one. If you do have the ability to share openly, we'd be amped to hear what is it that you've accomplished, right? As well as even your defeats. What is it you're going through? If you're thinking, man, I think I'm the only one this is, happening to me. You're not alone. Share that though if you're open to it, because that could really be pouring into us as well as others on this feed, right? And people are going to watch this later in the future. You never know who you can impact by sharing what things you've gone through as well as the good things. We want to encourage you though, because this is the Arise series, to keep arising, right? It's not about one time. If it was one time, we'd all be done.
It would be easy. Life would be. We only got to get back up once.
This is good. Life
and we
is
never got
easy.
knocked over again. It's like, no, we're gonna have to arise, and then we're gonna have to arise again.
Yes.
There's gonna be those moments, but if we can just get better and better about just, hey, I tripped a little bit, boom, I'm back up. Like, even make a joke about it. Like my joke. See, I tacked the floor. I didn't fall. I tacked the floor.
Tack the floor, right? But then when you get up, especially when it's this mentality, you understand the mentality of arise, and then boom, if something happens and tries to get you to the point of wallow, sitting there, stink and getting funky and it's getting nasty, and you hear some foul words. That's the moment where you have to arise again and be like, I am not getting stuck in that. And it doesn't mean you do it all alone. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this openly, right, with you, and want you to be able to do the same, because that's where freedom comes from. That's where we know that you can step out and go, hey, I'm going to be open and vulnerable. There's the approach to other people, the opportunity for them to come in and step into your life, speak to you. Hopefully we can do that as well along this journey, right? Starting today. Today. That's why we always say today's the day to take action. Change your life forever, right? It's not going to be the same. As well as remembering, we're here for you. We all go through this stuff. You're not alone if you think that, right? All of us, and we want to be able to support you, encourage you, keep going after it. Keep after it. If it's a dream you want to accomplish, and it's just been like not coming to fruition after 10 years, we've got that too. We've got
big dreams.
Big dreams,
guys.
right?
We feel you.
Keep after it.
Yep.
Keep after it.
Yep.
Right on?
Yeah, failure isn't final, you guys.
No,
get back
ever.
up and keep going today.
Yes.
Today. Don't stay down any longer. Get back up, and then this is a short series.
Right.
We're just going to be with you next Monday. One
Monday.
more Monday for this one.
Right.
And we're going to be hitting on some practical ways to set us up for victory in 2020.
Yes.
So how to just kind of set ourselves up
Right.
with some winning steps. So
Yes.
we look forward to next Monday with y'all.
That's right. We very much do. We're excited to hear the responses too. Post some of these things. Feel free to get in there at any one moment if you have a question, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd love to share. We'd love to meet. Boom. DM me if you want. If that's the way you like to, not a problem. We'd rather do that if you want to keep it offline, right? Technically. Or, and don't forget, last series. I want to make sure that they didn't miss out.
If you missed the last, it was the climb. We were talking about how to set up a strong e-commerce shop. So if you missed that series, go on back.
We can put a link in the bottom in the description, in the comments. Or if you're watching on YouTube, or we're going to be watching on LinkedIn, things like that, we'll put it in the description.
Yep.
Be sure to get that. If you are doing e-commerce, that was off the charts, especially because we had a friend, Ben Camp, who is genius, right? Working with multi-million-dollar companies all the way to the startups. He's got experience, he's got knowledge, he's got wisdom, and he's got a gift and talent. So he spoke, right? He gave us dropped in some knowledge
that was
that you
awesome.
want to go and get some of that,
Absolutely.
right? And that's last week's series. And we have a YouTube page, right, set up that is now filling up on every one of these series we've done. Every series has multiple videos as well as motivational pieces, right? We always do a little motivational video for you to get you amped, listen to some solid beat and just be like, yeah, let's go. And then boom, it's the series, right? You can watch the series, the full series. Every one of these has been done live, right? Because we love the live interaction. Love this. We're after it. And so next week, take this week to focus on this in where you see it, what I've accomplished, what has happened this year that you can soak up and be like, yes, and be proud of, right? Give thanks to God, give thanks to friends and family who've been around you to support you, right? Even send a quick text to that special person like, man, I'm grateful for you because you kept me on my toes, right? And then next week, we'll get into the practical.
Yep, absolutely,
cool?
Guys. Yeah.
Right on. Until next week, have a great one. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Awesome, baby.